As far as how the bill is written, if you become my partner and I give you access to my school, I can't stop you from doing whatever you want to do. I have no say-so as far as how the bill was written. So yes, we want you to fight. There is another option. And there are other school districts that will fight with you. But if you can, I mean, I'm confused. Or is Johns Hopkins affiliated with talent development? Because a recorded conversation that I have says that they separated last year.
I want the school and the district to survive, but I understand from a reliable source that TEA will close these schools, the district, and appoint a management board. That's it. And I agree we have to do something, but the truth is, the reality is that the school district will close, period.
Academic programming, the state of Texas must do that. You're talking about 1842. What's driving 1842? What's driving 1882? The Texas Constitution and the responsibility, which is the onus on the state to provide a free, public, efficient education. And when they deny our kids an efficient education, every political subdivision, every political official ought to be lining up together to fight against it. This fight is not just the public, the community fight. This fight is your fight, it's Harold's fight, it's everybody's fight together. And here's the deal, 1842, it said it gives the commissioner two options. One, close the school. Two, appoint a board of managers. Now, they're not going to close the school. They're not going to close 10 schools. What they'll probably do is appoint a board of managers. But what are they trying to get to? That word, efficient education. We must not lose sight of programming, academic programming. I designed academic programming for Texas Southern University, Prairie View A&M, Wheatley College, St. Phillis College. The academic programming, and Omar Wally talked about it, when we have career technology education, CTE, that's the old vocational education, we had less than a 1% dropout rate. Huh? Bring it back into every school. Now, if you want to talk about a bill, let's talk about SB 2105. SB 2105 just passed in May, which put vocational education back into the schools with $1.5 billion. Student work study mentorship programs. Texas Southern University and U of H have student work study mentors that they pay $10 an hour to come into the feeder schools. So if you pull together the right resources, use the right laws, drill all the way down, let the political subdivision officials, but they got to work together. The school board got to work with the state rep. The state rep got to work with the state senator. State senator got to work with the congressional person. Everybody work together. They will not close this school, I guarantee you. The biggest threat here is not to close your Wheatley. The biggest threat is a board of managers. That's the biggest threat, and the sister mentioned it earlier. But there is a way to get around all of that. If everybody work together, all of your political subdivisions work for you, Wheatley will not close. Wheatley will get the academic programming that they need. The resources is there. The bill was passed, $1.5 billion. That money comes on top of the student allotment. So actually, if Wheatley became a career technology leaning school, it would get this much more money. You see what I'm saying?
And I would like to note on what he said. There are a bunch of money here that's missing. And so I've been here for about 3 years. I've seen classrooms not have any resources. I've seen more money pumped into more sports programs there are here and educational programs here. I am in all AP classes and we do not have books. And we do not have AP Physics in our class, which will impact my GPA. And so one thing that I would like to say, because I have to leave, is school night, is all of these things y'all are saying, I want to see happen. I've been going to alumni meetings for 2 years, and I have not seen anything happen from these people. And I'm tired, and I'm sick. This is the first time I actually spoke out. So everything, all these leadership people who is making sure Wheatley's brought down, it's not going to be brought down. Very strong leadership, but leadership is not being taken care of correctly here.
Principal Williams, we're especially pleased that you're here. Let me just say that we have 6 months to save our school and perhaps our district. Let me say that from the community standpoint, what we will say tonight and what has been said for 10 years. So even though the administration has changed and people have come in and out, we have said the same thing. And now we're at a point to where we're being heard, and we appreciate that. Let me say that what is being offered is a well-researched, standards-based program. It's not new. It's just very creative. It's been around. What's new is what do we do as a school community, and as an administration? How do we implement that? How do we work together? So my question is, more of a comment, I think what's needed is a process in place where we can get our acts together to work together. So we're not yelling at each other, we're not misinformed, we're not getting information elsewhere, but we establish a process where a core group of people from the alumni and the community and school, along with administration, can begin immediately with a really good facilitator to work together for 6 months. If we can do it for 6 months, we can probably do it after that. But right now, we need to figure out, how do we work with this principal? How do we work with the school district? How do we save our school? And if we want to fight, let's fight afterwards. So my question is, what kind of
Talent Development Nonprofit Organization, Baltimore, Maryland. When you Google that, that is the organization that is proposed to be the partner with HISD. Some of you all said y'all wanted to look at what their track record is. You'll find some track records there based upon that organization, which they were associated at one time with John Hopkins, but they are
Great Books Club and also Circle of Men. But also, I want to give some accolade to Mr. Williams, because when he was at Key a few years ago and we started out working with him, I think that we brought a good turnaround. Now, I believe that old adage that says that it's one thing to predict rain, and it's another thing to build an ark. And I don't believe in predicting rain without building an ark. And I wanted to speak to the process that you all are talking about. Now, in 97 and 98, or 98 and 99, I was working in the support capacity at Cashmere High School. Cashmere High School was exemplary for 2 consecutive years. Correct me if I'm wrong, examine the record. Cashmere was exemplary for 2 consecutive years. They had 2 exemplary programs. You know what they were? They were allied health and cosmetology. They got in trouble with the budget and they had to make cuts. What are the 2 programs they cut? Allied health and cosmetology. Near 100% attendance in both of those programs. The lady who taught allied health, Dr. Betty Bell, she went over to Austin High School with the same program where the universities were fighting for the students. Now, my point in mentioning that is that the next year, Cashmere barely had enough students to open the school because the parents and the students voted with their feet. So in other words, this emaciation, this evisceration of the kinds of programs that keep our students in place, we've got to have those programs at our school. And I don't know if it's automobile mechanics, I don't know if it's diesel mechanics, I don't know what it is, but the philosophy, not my brother's keeper, that I have. If kids have a role and identity in school life, if they members of clubs and organizations, be it a Spanish club, be a choir, or be it band or athletics, they are involved in school because you're building relationships with those kids. Now, I I wanted to say this. Mr. Williams, count on a lot of us to go to the mat with you. But the thing that's going to disappoint us, if there's one agenda above board and another agenda below board. Now, let me close on this. To the gentleman who came up and said, what is the process? Give us 6 months. If you're giving us 6 months to work together, we're going to close ranks. Certainly with my brother's keeper, we're going to close ranks, and we're going to work with you for this turnaround.
Coming to you live right here at Phillis, Wheatley, right here at the 4900 block of Market Street, and HISD is holding a supposed to be their first community meeting, and I got Mr. Monroe here, and Mr. Monroe here kind of walk us through what HISD is doing with these, because they got a total of look like about 16 different community meetings, and this has been the first one here at Phillis Wheatley.
Yeah, this is the first meeting of 14 community meetings that they have at schools that are deemed IR, which is improvement required by TEA. And these schools have come under scrutiny to the point that they want to either partner these schools with a private entity or either maybe restart the schools and close them down and restart them over. So this is the first meeting in 14.
After the meeting is over, we would like to get kind of like a commentary on what you think and how it came out.
Okay, well, I don't have a problem with that. I'd be glad to do that. But I can kind of give you what they're going to do.
Okay,
and
give
then
me an idea what
it's
they
going
expect to happen.
It's going to be the classic dog and pony show.
Okay.
They're going to come in. They're going to try to make the community believe that doing a partnership or restarting this school, this is one of the schools that should be under a partnership, is the best thing for these children. But the problem is the Texas Education Agency, TEA, has not set the guidelines to Senate Bill 1882, which would tell you what would happen if a partner came in. So if a partner came in here and said, I want to get all the kids out and I only want to bring back the 9th grade, HISD has no control over that once they go into a partnership. And they can't guarantee that these people would not lose their jobs under a partnership. So what they're going to come in and do is they're going to try to change the narrative. And they're going to try to make this community believe that this is the only way that they can save this school, which is a flat-out lie.
Okay. Thank you. So in other words, if you say, now, I notice you say a partnership. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, and you said they might start and come in and say, we're going to shut the school down and start in the 9th grade. Mm-hmm. Now, if it's a partnership, who are they? First of all, let's say, who is they?
Well, first of all, we don't know who they are. They won't release the plans.
Oh, okay, they are HISD.
HISD.
And do you know the trustee?
The trustee for this school is Rhonda Skilling-Jones, who actually happens to have the most IR schools out of all 14, which is 8.
Yeah, but I noticed that. Okay, so therefore, this is going to be one of the first community meetings that HISD is holding among those 14 meetings that they're having.
Yeah, this is the first one. Right now, HISD is scrambling because they identified 2 potential partners this week that could partner with our schools, and both partners want nothing to do with it. They don't want to run schools. They've also tried to secure political support from local city officials who flat out told them they would not support this. So, I mean, their back is against the wall. TEA basically has a gun at their head, trying to force them to do something that has already been proven, and I'll only use one city, like New Orleans. They tried this in New Orleans where they chartered all the schools, and now the state is giving the schools back to the school district because it didn't work. This is not gonna work.
So in other words, they just wasting their time.